Hi, welcome to Joy Fido International. Now this is the side of our business where we tend to talk to you and chat with you about so many different things. In here we talk about hair generally, we talk about health, we talk about wellness, we talk about fashion, we talk about beauty. So these are all the things that we find exciting and interesting, and we have huge passion for them, and we make it our business to go and find out so much more about them, and that's why we can share them with you. So you know what we represent at all times. We want to share what we know with you. So today we are coming to you again to share something amazing, something exciting. My name is Joy Fido, and I'm going to be guiding you through this process today. So welcome on board. Okay, so what are we talking about today from Joy Fido International? We are talking about what we call Eat for Life. So if you've been following us, we did a video recently where we talked so much about eating and eating healthy. So we're saying don't just eat for the sake of eating, but eat for nutrition. Eat and know what you're actually putting into your body and know what it's going to do for your body. And I did promise there that we're going to be having series of videos where we work with you and show you how we create these amazing different ways of making you eat healthy. Now, why are we so interested in eating healthy? We mentioned in that video, we work with clients who are struggling with their hair. You know, we started off with hair. And then we have clients who are having problems with their hair. Hair is not growing. I have digestive problems. I have nutritional problems. I don't eat well. My hair is stunted. Nothing is happening. And so we made it our business to start finding out why hair is not growing. I mean, I've naturally been one for looking at healthy food, but I've gone a step further now. It's not just healthy food, but how is this healthy food getting into your body? And on the other hand, we were having problems with our students who are in training or who are taking training with us, and they're having lots of health problems going on. Now, we're not standing here and saying we're experts with health, but we're just saying that most of the sicknesses that people are dealing with, most of the diseases that are hanging around here are things that could be avoided. They're avoidable sicknesses. And where are they coming from? Where is the root cause of these problems? It's the food that we put into our mouth. And that's why we started researching. And if you watch that video, I showed you so many books that I've been reading and making inquiries and searching, because I want to help people. I'm here to support people. I'm here to guide people in what I know. And on my part, God on my side and my family, we've been staying healthy because I watch what we put into our mouths. And that's why I'm happy to share this with you. And so today, we're going to show you how we do some of the juices and how we do some of the smoothies. Okay, so what are juices? Juices are just the liquid that comes from the plant, straight on. And how do we get juices? There are machines. So you hear about the juicer. Now the juicers are separate, they're unique in their own way. So you get a fruit, you get a vegetable, you put it through the juicer, and it just squeezes out the liquid from the plant, from the fruit, from the vegetable. And that liquid, if you drink it, it's like when you go into the store and you get your Coca-Cola and you get your Pepsi and you get your Fanta. So instead of having all of that, which has been filled with sugar, and you just got the fruits or the vegetable and put it through this machine, and you get straight on liquid coming from them, you're getting natural nutrients. You're getting something that goes straight into your cells and is doing what it should be doing for you. And we're encouraging you to stay more natural because it's going to keep you healthier. And so, like I said in the previous video, we created a Facebook page for it called Eat for Life. Because when you eat healthy, you stay healthy. The sicknesses disappear. And if the sickness has disappeared, your life is going to be longer. So that's what juices are. And the next one is the smoothie. Smoothie is practically like breaking down whatever this thing is into a bit of a pulp. So your blender can also be seen as your smoothie maker. So whenever you go and blend something in your blender, you're actually making it smooth. And so you can call it smoothie. Think of when you have a baby, and some people call it puree as well. So you put the food into the blender and you blend it. You press the blender and it actually smoothens all that food. That's what smoothies are. But then again, they got special machines that, because they are quicker and they are stronger or sharper, they tend to make the food smoother quicker than your regular blender. But if you haven't got a smoothie maker, go ahead and start with your regular blender. And you'll find that gradually your life and your health is going to get better. So this is where we are today, smoothie and juicing. And again, as time goes on, we're going to be explaining to you more about these two areas that we're really excited about. Because we're going to make you understand what each of these things that you're putting in your body contain. But today, let's start with showing you just how the action of smoothing and juicing is all about. So here we are ready to start our process. But I wanted you to see all the different types of fruits and vegetables that we've got ready to work with. So across the table, we have a huge range of variety. Variety is the spice of life when it comes to eating healthy. And so you hear things like vegetables, you hear things like fruits, and what is recommended is don't stick to just one type. If you chose to go just vegetable, what you tend to find is the taste is so bland, and most times people then feel constrained and they feel put off and they don't feel like eating it. Because remember, we keep saying eat for nutrition and not just for the taste buds. So people tend to worry so much about how tasty this food is, and then they get put off by vegetables tasting bland. So because of that, we got the fruits, and what the fruits bring on board are the sugars as well. These are natural sugars, which does not really cause the damage that the processed sugars cause. So the fruits contain more sugar, and so we get the fruits and we mix them with the vegetables, and they help to give you a lot of lovely tasting juices and smoothies. So across the table there, we got so many different types. So in the form of vegetables, we have what they now know as a superfood called kale. Kale is so nutritious, it's unbelievable. And as we progress, I'll be breaking down what each of these things can do for your body. Because again, we want you to be healthy. This is what we keep telling people. You cannot aim to be making so much money and be so rich, which is what we've been training you with, gain a skill and you become amazing and you grow a business and all that. But we realize that if you grow that business and you don't have a body that can run the business, then it goes to nothing. And that's why we're coming up with all these new things to help you grow. So you're growing your body, you're becoming healthy, and then you can run your business. You know what they say, your health is your wealth. So kale is their superfood, super antioxidants and all of that it comes with. Right next to kale we have spinach. And spinach, again, full of iron. So if you've been having, they call it lethargy. If you feel tired all the time, you don't have any energy to wake up and get on with things, spinach is one of those leaves that really give you what you're looking for. First two I've talked about are vegetables. The next thing there is carrots. Carrot has a lot of liquid in it. You're going to see that when we start juicing. And that also brings in a lot of healthy stuff for you. Carotene is one of them. And it helps to clear your eye night vision problems. People who are struggling with their eyes, carrot is one of the best things to take on that will help deal with that problem. And then right after carrot there we have the pineapple. It's a tropical fruit, one of those really tasty, beautiful fruits. Again, there's so much that comes out of it. And I love the taste of pineapple. I grew up with pineapple. My mom had an orchard of pineapple, so it's one of my favorite fruits. And right after pineapple is mangoes. Again, another tropical fruit, extremely tasty, extremely healthy. And the fruits are going to be blended with the vegetables in the case of smoothie. And in the case of juicing, we're going to take the juice of the ones that are really juicy, and we're going to get amazing taste out of this. I wish you could be here to taste it. But of course, you can always work with what we've shown you, and you can tell us, send us feedback, tell us what you are experiencing. Then right next to that is celery. And celery again is a vegetable which comes again with lots of liquid, good for your health. Okay, so after celery is mint. Mint is a spice, and there's so many other types of spices. As we go along, you're going to get to know more about them. It brings a hint of, if you try chewing gum with mint, you can tell that inhaling, exhaling experience that mint brings on board. Clears the nasal system and all of that. So it's health again in a leaf. And after that is apples. Apples you need, it's like one of those really stable fruits in every juice you tend to find. Apples is usually always there. Okay, so next one is ginger, and ginger roots are absolutely health in a root. We've done a video on this in the past where we told you or showed you how to make ginger drink, and this drink helps, especially now that the weather is getting a bit colder. You will find out all your allergies will disappear, and you will enjoy your drink and enjoy your weather. So ginger really is one of those really super foods again. So next to ginger is another tropical fruit called avocado pear. I cannot begin to talk about this superfood. It has so much in store for us. You know about the avocado oil, the avocado butter, then the fruit itself. It's one of those health in a fruit. No one can begin to tell you how great this fruit is. And it's just a lifesaver. So it's one of those fruits that you really should add whenever you're trying to make a smoothie. It just brings life into you. So next is cucumber, and cucumber has lots of water, which again is absolutely useful for your juice. Next to cucumber is the courgette. Courgette is one of those names that I really struggle with. Courgette. So again, lots of liquid coming out of this fruit, beautiful for your body. And then after that we got our bananas, and bananas is absolutely amazing. Lots of iron, lots of potassium. And so one of those really beautiful fruit that I love, I don't know if you call it vegetable or fruit, beetroot. The color is out of this world. It's amazing. You can eat the leaves, you can eat the root. It's beautiful. I add it to everything I do. And thereafter, after all the fruits and vegetables, next set of things you normally will add to your smoothie if you feel like it are nuts. And nuts and seeds are so good for your body. Again, there are so many types, and for the sake of this video, we only got almonds, sunflower seeds, linseed, and walnuts. And walnuts is known as a brain food. So it's one of the reasons we had to add this here. Because when you eat all these things, they help to do different things in your body. And this is what we want to introduce to you so you can start taking care of your body. We encourage you to take care of your body instead of, leaving it to some other person to take care of it for you. So next thing, we're going to start showing you how to blend this and actually how to juice them. Okay, so we're talking about healthy food and eating for nutrition and eating for good health and eating for life. Now, what started me in this? In the last video, we talked about my history and how I decided to go into healthy foods. Now, all along, people who know me know I like to eat healthy. I like to introduce nutrition and nature into whatever I'm eating. But things got really, really interesting when I was pregnant with my third child. And then I was diagnosed with pregnancy diabetes. This was when it got really, really serious because I had no idea what that meant. I didn't know what I'd done wrong to have this kind of sickness. And then it became clear that I had to cut out quite a lot of food out of my way of eating in order to give me good health. And this was when the major journey into looking at healthy food started. Now, prior to that, my mom died when I was extremely young. Even my little sister was still a baby when my mom died, and that bothered me a lot. Then my dad died equally from very, stroke, and my brother. And so this has been something that has always intrigued me, interested me, to understand what you need to do to stay healthy. Because it's not a good feeling to have your loved ones leave you at a tender age, or you leave your loved ones at a tender age. It's nobody in the world would like that. And this is why I do not like seeing people who deliberately put themselves at risk of having illnesses in their life when they could prevent it. So to me, this is one of my ways of helping anyone out there who's struggling with health conditions that they can't prevent and they're not doing anything about it. So this is something I want you to put into your program. Start helping yourself from what you put into your mouth, because it may just be that that's what's causing your problem. And I've said to people, don't let your food be your poison. Because some people out there might think somebody is doing them something. You hear this all the time. It was this distant relative of mine that caused some problem in my life. This one was wishing me bad. This one thought I would never survive. So you hear all kinds of things out there because we like to push the blame. It was that person, it was that person. We never want to take on the fact that it was what we actually put into our body that's responsible for causing the problems we have. So what are some of the benefits of eating healthy? I've talked about it again in the previous video, Eat for Health or Eat for Life. You're going to notice that there will be less chances of you picking up this, the slightest thing that's passing. One of the biggest way you know you're unhealthy is when, especially in the West, when the weather changes. So you have your autumn, you have your winter, you have your summer. And for lots of people, including me, some years back when I didn't know about most of these things, the minute something changes in the weather, your body reacts to it. And that's called immunity. Because we don't have much immunity, what happens? Anything changes, our body responds. And this is where eating healthy will help you. I did a video on how garlic helps to prevent that, because garlic is one of those really, really healthy natural foods that takes away any problem with immunity. And then we talked about the ginger. But these foods here are some of the things that the more you put them into your body, the healthier you become. And if you can cut out all these small, tiny little colds and viruses that are passing by, what else could you be looking for? Because then you have time to look after yourself and do other things. Okay, the next benefit is something like obesity. It's one of the biggest problems people are struggling with out there. And what's causing obesity? Is it too much processed food? Everything we're dealing with, especially in the West and in the US. There is so much processed food around. And so because you see so much to eat, you just eat them. Unfortunately, it's not the amount of food you eat that makes you healthy. It's the nutrition that comes out of your food that makes you healthy. So if you're eating foods that don't contain anything, you're not going to be healthy. All that's happening is your body is struggling to break down this food. And because it cannot handle it, it's pushing them to places that are not necessary. So you get, things they call the bingo arms, you get the big tummy, you get the big waist and the big hips, and things just go out of proportion. We all struggle to deal with this, but for some people it's just a bit too much. And from my experience of trying so many things, which I did Herbalife, and I've said it, talked about it in so many videos, and I started eating lots of healthy food, I have found that it is not that easy to shake those weight off. So if you keep eating the same things over and over and over again, your body's not going to let them go. And it's going to hang in there, and they're going to lead to so many illnesses, which I mentioned again in the last video. So it's just for you to know that there are so many benefits that come out of eating natural foods and eating healthy. And this is why we are sharing this knowledge with you. So other things again that people tend to think about, which was one of the immediate reasons that pushed me to start looking at this, was the hair issue. Now you keep hearing things like you're as healthy as your hair is. Now people come to me, they want their hair done, and because we care for hair, we want people's hair to grow. Then we started having clients whose hair is not growing and things are happening. My hair is still the same for 10 years, nothing is happening. What can I do? So I had to start looking behind the scenes. What's causing these problems? And it turns out, obviously, it's the kind of foods they put into their mouth. And because the cells are not actually being fed, so the hair roots are not growing, they have nothing to live on. And that's why the hair is stuck. So it's down to you to start looking at the benefits that come out of eating healthy. And there's so many of them. So again, we talked about it in the last video, and I'm not going to spend too much time going into that again in this video, because now we want to show you the action of actually juicing the food and creating smoothies for you to find that there are other ways you can eat. It's not just about the volume of the food you put in, it's about the nutrition that comes out of the food that you put in. And two of the biggest things that comes out of juicing and smoothing is the fact that the food goes straight in to do its job. It was one of the biggest struggle I had, because I was chewing all the leaves and I was eating all the fruits, and I still didn't see much difference. And when I got to know that by juicing it and you drink it and it goes straight into your cells, straight through the small intestine, doing the job it should be doing, traveling down to your brain, traveling down to your kidney, to your heart, to your liver, that's the kind of thing we need. And again, another thing is, the older we get, the less active our cells are. And especially for people who are getting older, you're not going to see that kind of result as when you were young, when you could eat anything and your body breaks it down in seconds. So now you're going to have to deal with struggling with your body, finding it hard to break down some of these things. And this is where the smoothie and the juicing comes to help. So let's get to work, and you see how this is done, and we hope you're going to introduce this into your life. So what I tend to do now, in this particular instance, we are using the Fusion juicer. Again, it's just a juicer that I bought. One of my clients mentioned it, and my son saw it as well, and he was excited and said, "Mom, you have to buy this juicer." So that's the juicer I'm using. I'm not fussy about any juicer. Whatever juicer that makes you happy, go ahead and buy that. But so far, this has done a good job for me, and I'm happy to work with it. So I'm going to start now with the courgette. And so you put on the juicer, this particular juicer, that's how it works. You put it on first before you start putting in mean, the carrots, the cucumbers, the courgette, they got so much water in them, so much liquid, and you can see so much of it that's in the container already. Now the other places where it gets a bit difficult is when you try to juice vegetables, and usually the trick is blend it in with the other ones that have a lot of water. So when we put the vegetable in, you immediately introduce something that's got a lot of liquid, so that just immediately pushes the vegetable out. And you notice when I was doing it, I didn't push it too much, you just slowly, and then the fruit or the vegetable gradually goes in and brings out the liquid in it. So we're gonna carry on doing this and mix as much as we like until we finish all the vegetables and fruits that we have on the table. But remember, for taste, you decide what and what you want to add to your juicing. These are the things we're going to be talking about more and more, and we'll get to know what is going to help a particular condition. So for instance, we're talking about immunity, something like garlic comes to mind. If we're talking about iron deficiency, something like spinach comes to mind. So these are the kind of things we're going to be looking at as we progress in our Eat for Life. So for now, I have chosen all these vegetables and fruits, and it's down to you to choose the ones that make you happy. And availability is another thing. I also say to people, don't chase something that's out of season. So try and look for things that are in season so you can buy them in the quantity you like and have them in the quantity you like. So as we progress further on today, we're going to go into smoothing, and I'm going to show you again how I go about my smoothie. We talked about taste, and we said you choose what makes you happy. But the unique thing you're going to be remembering to do is, when we started, we did say if you focus on just vegetable, they tend to taste really bland and there's no extra taste in them. So that's where we're mixing them with the fruits that's got a bit of natural sugars. Now remember, we said natural sugar, we didn't say sugar, because processed sugar is where the problem is, and that's what's causing the problems that we all have. So if you cut out the processed sugar and you go for the natural sugars, and not in excess, because this is where I had my problem with my pregnancy diabetes. I had too much fruits, and too much of that is not equally healthy. So you mix a bit of the fruits and a bit of the vegetable, and you get a good blend. So that's what we're aiming to do now. So we're gonna carry on, and you see the next phases. Okay, so here's our glass. We finished preparing the first set, and look at what it looks like. Now once you're done, the next thing that counts to me is presentation, and this is why I look out for things really beautiful, so you present what you're trying to eat really good. Here with me, I got two gorgeous models, my little ones, and they are usually my first set of models whenever I'm going into anything. So they are going to taste this for you, and they're going to tell you what they think of what this juicing has been about today. So young Karen, here you go.
This is sick.
You like it?
Yeah.
Wow. How about you, Mega? You try yours.
It's really good.
What can you taste? What in particular can you taste?
I can like taste the ginger, really strong.
Ginger is strong.
Yeah.
What about you, Karen? What was strong for you?
I
Wanna
can
try
taste the
again?
cucumbers.
Cucumbers. Okay, have some more. Yes, that says it all. You see how excited he is drinking his juice. And I try to take them away from all that sugary drink that you see out there in the shop. So from time to time I make them their juices, and they love it. Alright, so I've made a bowl of the juice, and I'm trying to store some of them so they're not, it's not excess. Now there's so many ways you can do this. Get yourself lovely bottles. And the person who created that juice makes his own, and the juicer, He makes his own and he actually freezes them. So that's another choice. You can freeze them and you can use them when you need them. But because I have a big family, we're going to be drinking this every day. And I like drinking them first thing in the morning and especially at night. So whenever you feel like, hey, this is like raw food waiting to be eaten. And this is what gives you the health. Okay, so that was our juicing done, and you've seen the colors that come out of them. When they change colors, like the red color, that was with lots of beetroots in it. Not lots, it was just about one beetroot, which I haven't used all of it. But beetroot has this strong color. It's one of the most beautiful things about beetroot. And apparently it helps to build your white blood cells. And beetroot is one of those superfoods that there's so much to talk about it. I'm actually in the process of writing something about beetroot, which is going to be posted on the Facebook Eat for Life page. So once you're done with your juicing, what's the next stage? Cleaning your equipment. That is such a big one. This is what put lots of people off juicing, because when you finish with your juicing, the amount of pulp that comes out of the vegetables and the fruits, and then you have to clean the equipment. You want to be sure that you haven't damaged the equipment in any form. It takes a lot. Now this is what I say to people. If you are so worried about the cleaning after, and because of that you don't want to juice, I say to people, you need to take them out to look after your health. Because if you don't look after your health, you're going to be forced to look after your illness. So if you can't take them out to look after your health by eating healthy and worrying about cleaning, when the sickness comes, you're going to be forced to sit at home, go to the doctor, stay in hospital. These are the things that come out of not eating healthy. So I choose to be on the side where I will spend time cleaning and being healthy than being lazy about cleaning and being unhealthy. So remember, health and safety is very important when you're juicing. Make sure your hands are completely clean before you start juicing. Make sure all the equipment you're using are clean. Make sure the fruits are thoroughly washed because you don't know where they've been. So these are so many things you have to take on board. And we hope we've been able to enrich your life today, not just verbally, but enrich you by putting those nutrients into your body that's going to help make your life a lot healthier. And once you have health, the next thing that comes is wealth. So health is wealth, they normally say. That's because when you're healthy, you can get up and do things. And what I've noticed in my life so far since I started doing all this, is like all the cells are alive because all the food I've been taking in are actually going to the right places. So we always want the best for you, and that's why we share this information, that's why we share this knowledge. And we want you to please take them on board. And remember to follow us on Instagram, JoyFido, and Water Braiding. Sometimes we put this information there. Because again, we're trying to help people grow their hair. And continue to follow us again. Eat for Life is the page we created for this food part and healthy part of our business. And we look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thank you. Now, why do we need smoothie? We've helped our body to blend this food. We've helped our body to break it down. This is one of the biggest problems that we've been struggling with all this while with food. Most of us don't know how to chew. Again, we talked about this in our video, the one that says eat for health or eat for life. Most of us don't chew very well, and because we don't chew very well, we end up just swallowing and just taking in whatever we put into our mouth. When we do that, the body then struggles to break down that food. In the process of struggling to break it down, it cannot absorb the ingredients out of it. And that's why lots of the times people are saying to you, you're eating healthy, or you're saying to yourself, I'm eating healthy, so we get all these vegetables, we get all the foods, we eat it, we think we're eating healthy, and we're still struggling with both weight and health and all kinds of things still going on. So this is where the smoothie comes in. When you smoothie your food, you actually help your body to work with what you've already prepared for it. And something I like to relate to is when you have a baby. You know, when we have babies and our babies, we just feed them with the softest of foods. That's the same kind of thing going on here. So as we grew older, things we started changing the way we ate. But now, if you want to help yourself, this is one of the best ways to go about it. Another thing I like smoothie for is because I can put any ingredients I like, which has so many natural healthy things in them, and I will be able to eat them. Most of the time, you really don't want to take particular things and put in your mouth. You're thinking about your taste buds and you're struggling to deal with it. But once you put them all together and smoothie them, then the taste blend and they become really nice and palatable to your taste buds. So this is what I really do love about smoothies. And we're going to get started now. Okay, so we've got in here in this bowl, we got various ingredients that again are very, very healthy with all the natural nutrients ready for you to eat them. So we got pineapple, apple, avocado, a bit of ginger, what else is here? Mango. And so all of these are here. Now when I smoothie, I tend to go for softer things, softer fruits. Ideally, when it comes to vegetables, they should equally be soft. But because kale is one of those really, really superfood, I've decided to add kale to my smoothie. And then underneath there, we got the spinach in there, which is equally a very, very soft leaf. So lots of vegetable, including meat in this place. And now we got the liquid we are going to use. This is a very interesting one. This liquid is actually coming from our juicer. This is the liquid we juiced. Now there are choices, and that's why we got the bottle of water here. Now when you decide to use water, make sure it is bottled water. Try and stay away from tap water. This is still natural mineral water. So the healthier the water, again, the healthier what's going into your system. So if I didn't have juice, I will end up using water. But because I have juice, so I go for juice. And that's why juice are just like water. So I'll put some ingredients in here and I'm going to mix it with the juice. Now, remember the whole idea of smoothing. We want to make sure that it's soft enough. And so when we say soft, we don't want it to be dry and difficult for the blender to blend. That's what I started doing when I started smoothing. I used to just think that it has to be a paste. You don't want it paste. You just want something that your body can handle. And so normally be generous with your liquid. And so once you put that in, you cover your blender. Depending on the blender you have, you make sure you watch out for everything that's in there. And then we're going to start blending. We're going to start blending. See how beautiful the color is coming out to be. So what I'm going to do is I'll keep infusing more ingredients into this smoothie until it gets a bit thicker. We don't want it too runny. And each time I put that, I check it and depending on the ingredients you're working with, they could take a bit longer to blend. But I don't worry about that at the moment. What I want to do is to try and blend everything I've got before I come back on myself and make them really, really smooth. So that's why I've got this big bowl here and I'm going to pour them in there for now. And so I'm going to get a new set and carry on exactly what I've just done. Okay, so look at what I've done. Now, depending on how many people you want to create this smoothie for, you can make it as little as possible or as much as you want. I have a huge family, and sometimes because I'm always very busy, I don't have enough time to stand and be creating smoothies. So I tend to make enough to keep at least for a day to take care of me, taking care of other businesses. So that's why I've created that much quantity. So once I've finished, I now mix them all up because I've added various ingredients as we're going along. So what I'm going to do now is scoop some in back into the smoothie maker, and then I'm going to blend it to the perfection that I'm looking for, the kind of texture that I want. And if you notice, we did talk about some seeds and some nuts. If you wanted to include them at this stage, you can. At any stage you want to include anything, feel free and include them. But what you want to try and do is make sure that you smooth it and mix all of them up together so that they're not having different tastes in different containers. That's what I try to do. So once I finish blending now, which is the final blend for me, I'm going to put it in some containers and I'll show them to you to see how I then store them and ready for use the next day. Now remember, because this sometimes takes a bit of time to prepare all this and clean up all your materials, you tend to think, I won't have time to do this. We've talked about this already. It's up to you to create for yourself a healthy lifestyle that takes you away from going to hospital and going to doctors and worrying about your health, or you leave it and let somebody else take care of you for you. So now I'm going to include just a little bit of nuts. And here is the walnuts. Walnuts is extremely good for the brain and memory. So I'm going to put just a few seeds in it. And then a little bit of almonds. And just a little bit of linseed. And so this particular one, once I finish blending this, is ready for storage. Okay, so there you have it. We've created amazing smoothie here. Now you're going to notice the color's gone a bit browny. Now that's because we added lots of nuts in them. And like I mentioned earlier, we had the walnuts, we had the almonds, we had the, what else did we add? Sunflower seed. And so all of these things help to change the color drastically. Now you remember I mentioned about containers. So you can decide to package them all nicely. And here we have one that's ready to just be put in the fridge until we're ready to eat them. And here's another one. Again, remember, if you find there are some seeds in particular, people react to seeds and have allergies to them, just don't add them to your food. But I tend to like nuts and seeds, so I add them to what I'm eating. So we have our model here again, young Mega, and she's gonna do the honors of tasting this for us and tell you what she thinks of it. So here you go, Mega.
It's really delicious.
Wow, how much of that do you like? What can you taste?
I can taste a lot of bananas and like seeds.
Okay. So there you have it, right from the sauce. So from time to time they enjoy eating the smoothie, although sometimes they insist on telling me what the ingredients should be, which I tend to listen because not every taste buds is the same. So you're gonna pick and choose what you enjoy eating, but what we keep saying is make sure it's natural, it's healthy, something that keep your inside active and alive. Now another tip, I had to work with 2 smoothie makers. Why? Because these are electrical equipments, and sometimes in the middle of what you're doing, one of them will just pack up. So if you're anything like me who enjoys smoothing and juicing, just buy, you know, a few more. Don't just buy the one and think that's it. Okay, so we want you to stay healthy. Remember your inside and invest in it. This is what I say to people, invest in your health. And so all of the things we've used in this video, we're going to be posting them from time to time on Instagram, on Facebook. Facebook is Eat for Life, and on Instagram is Joy Fido or World of Braiding. And we're looking forward to seeing you in the next video. So in the meantime, we want you to live a happy life and stay healthy. See you.